Ram Ram everyone. Let's welcome Shiv Kumar Bhaiya ji for giving us a discourse on Bhagavad Gita based on Swami Ramanand's teachings. Thank you all for joining us. Welcome Bhaiya ji.
Shri Ram.
Ram Ram Bhaiya.
Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Am I audible?
Yes Bhaiya. Yes Bhaiya ji.
Ram Ram to everybody joining this session. We are at chapter 2, Sankhya Yoga, Transcendental Knowledge of Shrimad Bhagwat Geeta, which is sung by Lord Krishna. So, verse number 2.50, श्लोक संख्या 50. बुद्धियुक्तो जहाति उभे सुकृत दुष्कृते तस्मात् योगाय युज्यस्व योगः कर्मसु कौशलम्. Lord Krishna says, Buddhiyukto jahati ih, who is infested with wisdom. So who is endowed with, who is bestowed with wisdom? We all are bestowed with wisdom. We all are having two levels of actions. One is mind, mana, and other is intellect. That is buddhi. So if we are taking decisions, we are acting, taking support of our buddhi, that is intellect, wisdom. So here Lord Krishna says, Buddhi Yukto, the person who is endowed with wisdom, Jahati ih, is leaving, getting rid of. Jahati, getting rid. Ih, here in this life, he is getting rid of, she is getting rid of Ubhe Sukrat Duskrate. When we do some work, then its action leaves some traces or some scar in our life. And for vanishing those samskar, for getting rid of those samskar, we are again falling prey of the transmigration. We are taking birth and die, after that again taking birth. That is the reincarnation cycle begins. So the person who is taking help of intellect, the person who is taking help of intellect, it is only the name called Buddhi Yoga, one of the yoga in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita here teaches us that Buddhi Yoga is that yoga when we do work taking help of our intellect, wisdom. In that case, we are not getting affected by the fruits of a result. When we do some work, then we are always expecting that we should get some fruitful result. And in contrast, at certain times, we are getting some results which are not as satisfying us. So both the results are there. At some times we get happiness and other times we get grief or sorrow. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. Sometimes we are gaining, sometimes again there is some loss is there. So the person who is taking the help of intellect, जो बुद्धि का सहारा लेता है, the person who is taking help of intellect get rid of, वो छूट जाता है, उभे सुकृत दुष्कृते, अच्छे और बुरे दोनों कृतों से छूट जाता है, दोनों प्रकार के कर्मों से छूट जाता है. For that person there is nothing is bad or good, because he is not keeping in mind about the fruitive results of action. He is only working to offer it at the feet of God. वो भगवान के निमित्त कर्म करता है, भगवान के प्रणिपात होकर कर्म करता है. So that person who is doing work as offering of God and not keeping in mind the fruits of result. So tasmat yoga yujasya. So that person is getting rid in this life only and not falling prey. So also getting rid of transmigration. So tasmat yoga yujasya. That's why tasmat yoga yujasya. You should take the help of buddhi yoga. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. Such type of yoga is the art of working skillfully. कर्मसु कौशलम. यदि हम बुद्धि योग का सहारा लेते हैं तो यही कर्म में कौशल है. What is the skill of work? So skill of work is when we take help of. So if we take help of intellect, this is only the skill of work. Like a surgeon is operating many patients. So, and very skillfully he is operating because he is not having the thing in mind that this patient will die or may survive. So the work is very meticulous, that because surgeon is not having preoccupied, preconceived by the idea. उसके मन में पूर्वाग्रह नहीं होता है कि ये जी जाए या मर जाए. So as he is not preconceived by any idea, so he is doing his job meticulously, not keeping in mind what will be the result. But the same surgeon, if is operating his own child, at that time he is preconceived by the idea that my child should survive. That then his hands will wobble, his hand will be shaking, wavering, and he cannot operate his own child. He takes the help of some other skillful surgeon. Please come and operate my child. So when we do work without any fruitive result and as an offer to God, then that work is matchless and is of 100% efficiency. वो कार्य उत्तम होता है जिसमें फलों की आकांक्षा नहीं होती. So that work is itself matchless and that work is again a kind of, वो work worship हो जाता है. Then that work is worship as a feat of God. So we should not keep in mind and always keep that this world is the temple of God. Whatever neighbors, relatives, our children and family members are bestowed to us, these are bestowed by our master of evolution, जो हमें हमारे समाज में, हमारे परिवार में और हमारे सगे संबंधी, हमारे बच्चे दिए गए हैं. ये विकास के अधिष्ठाता द्वारा हमें वरदानित है. So we should work for them, but offer our works at the feet of God, not keeping in mind that in turn they will give us this, they will ultimately in our old life they will help us. Don't keep in mind. If we do work like this, if we cook food keeping in mind that we are cooking food for the children of God in this way, for if husband is there, then some it is the husband bestowed by God. So if we do work like this and without any expectation, then ubhe sukrat duskrate, both kind of deed, that's it, goods and bad deeds, it is free. It is not ligating us. We are not mired with the muds of good and bad deeds. Like sun is radiating its rays, that rays are killing many of the bacteria, but that rays also prosper and proliferate fruits and plants. It also prospers, so it also grows up. So both the kinds of actions are done by sun, but sun is never mired with good or bad deeds. In the similar manner, if we are not having any results in mind, then we are free from any kind of its attachment. Now, the literal meaning of this is possessed of wisdom, one rejects here both virtue and vice. So, if we are possessed with wisdom, take help of wisdom, then we reject here virtue and vice, both good and bad deeds. Therefore, devote yourself to yoga. Yoga is the skillness in action. Here we can do work without attachment, and we can do it with maximum skill level without feeling nervous, jittery, scattered, tense, or excited. If we do work here with these things, then there will be no excitement, jittery, or any kind of other negative senses. Like uh, many of the scientists has invented many things, but they had never kept in mind that I should be appointed to this institute. Or this. They only completely thrown into the invention, and that's why those inventions has been accomplished. In the similar manner, when we throw ourselves in any work, then that work is only the worst. So it is a watertight compartment which has no room for even its fruitive results. So completely focus yourself to the work. That is the for God. God is also working here, but God is not wanting for any bad or good deeds. So in the similar manner, we, the sparks of our God, the children of our God, should work, right? Now, here the Arjuna was also intended to fight war with the intention of winning the war. That's why his hands were wobbling. Sansrate Gandiv, Mukham cha parishushit. So the body is even wavering, मुख सूख रहा है, गांडीव सरक रहा है. So such was the condition. But after he continued hearing these kinds of yoga, Sankhya Yoga, Buddhi Yoga from Lord Krishna, now he is little bit getting stabler. So if he is not keeping in mind whether he wins, whether he loses, whether somebody get alive, whether getting died, if nothing is in your mind and you are fighting a religious war with full focus, with full of your jest, with full of your zeal, and at that time you are not getting attached with wrong or right deeds. Ubhe sukrat duskrate buddhi yukto jahati. Get rid of both kinds of deeds, that is either it is right or wrong. जब हम कर्म को भगवान के प्रणिपात होकर करते हैं तो उसके फलों से, उसके प्रति बनने वाले संस्कारों से, दोनों से मुक्त हो जाते हैं. संस्कार तो तभी बनते हैं जब हम अपने मन में सोचते हैं कि ये फल मिलना चाहिए, तो हमारे मन में एक जाल बुनने लगता है, ये हो जाए, वो हो जाए. तो जब मन नहीं सोचता और कर्म होता है बुद्धि के कुशलता से, तो उस समय मन इधर उधर नहीं भागता और हम उस कर्म को अच्छे से कर पाते हैं और वो भगवान के परिपात. नाउ नेक्स्ट वर्स इज 2.51. कर्मजं बुद्धि युक्ता हि फलं त्यक्त्वा मनीषिणः जन्म बंध विनिर्मुक्ताः पदं गच्छन्त्य नामयम्. कर्मजं बुद्धि युक्ता हि फलं त्यक्त्वा मनीषिणः. So those the wise person, Manishina, the wise person who are taking the help of wisdom are the wise person. So Manishina karmajam, that is karmajam. So those actions or after effects which are taking birth when we do work. Jam means getting born. Karmajam. So the after effects, the samskar, which are taking birth when we do our work. When we do work, when we are not getting forget it, that I have given a glass of water and he is now not helping us in turn. चलना सिखाया हमने जिनको संभल संभल के और मिलते हैं आज हमसे वो करवट बदल बदल के. So we never forget if we do some good for, even when we do good for our children, then also we are saying, see, I have nourished these children and now they are doing so. So such is, though we have done actions under the tentacles of our attachment. हमने मोह पाश में बंद कर अपने बच्चों को अच्छे से पाला, फिर भी but never forget that I have done this and this. We note down even in diary, we have done so, and he is now in turn doing nothing for me. So these are when we do some actions, then we always expect its results. Even at certain times, we want to take credit of those things which are not done by us. See, this is done by us. Like we are breathing in and out. It is a natural process. When our diaphragm goes up and down, then we breathe it. It is not in our hand. But we say, we are claiming, see, I am taking breathe in, now leaving breathe out. These are the natural things, and those claims are also taken by us. So we want to take claim of those things which are done by us, or which are even not done by us. Any other person is not knowing, so we are claiming this is done by us. So it is very difficult to getting rid of the traces, but the person who is taking help of wisdom, जो बुद्धि का सहारा लेता है, वो कर्म से उत्पन्न होने वाले जितनी तरंगे हैं, जो संस्कार हैं, उनसे छूट जाता है. कर्मजम, कर्म से उत्पन्न होने वाले, the traces, the sanskar which are taking birth from actions. Buddhi yukta hi, the person who is infested with wisdom, who is bestowed with knowledge, endowed with intellect. The person who is endowed with intellect, such wise persons are buddhi yukta hi jahati ih, getting rid of here in this life only. Phalam tyaktva, so all the fruits are left by manishina. So what does it mean? The complete meaning is karmajam buddhi yukta hi phalam tyaktva manishina. The wise person, by the help of wisdom, leave here the traces of work and fruitive results. So wise person, बुद्धिमान मनुष्य बुद्धि के सहारे कर्म से उत्पन्न होने वाले संस्कारों से तुरंत ही छुटकारा पा लेता है. त्यक्त्वा फलम त्यक्त्वा मनीषिणा जन्म बंध विनिर्मुक्ता. After that, what happens when you are free from your these samskar? Then what is the need of taking birth? You have done work and you have submitted it, surrendered it, offered it to the feet of God. There is no samskar. When there is no samskar, then why will you take rebirth? You will simply go to God. So janma bandha vinir mukta. He is now free from, she is now free from. That is life and birth cycle. Janma bandha vinir mukta padam gachanti, goes to the feet of God, embraced by God. Anamayam. So that is, he is devoid of suffering. That person does not suffer after death. वो कष्ट नहीं पाता और जन्म बंध विनिर्मुक्ता, मृत्यु और जन्म के बंधन से मुक्त होकर ईश्वर के धाम जाता है. What is the literal meaning of this verse? Because those who are devoted to wisdom take help of wisdom, becoming men of enlightenment. They are the epitome of enlightenment. They illuminate the world. They are men of enlightenment. By giving up the fruits produced by actions. Why should we leave the fruits? Because when we cannot work, it is the energy of God by which we are performing work. We are only merely the instrument. So we cannot do work. Then why to take claim or for the fruits? So why to claim on fruits? We should not claim it also, because the energy of God is only proliferating in us. It is intending us to do work. So because those who are devoted to wisdom, becoming men of enlightenment by giving up the fruits produced by actions, reach the state beyond evil, by having become freed from bondage of birth. So बॉन्डेज ऑफ बर्थ, जन्म बंधन विनिर्मुक्ता, जन्म के बंधन से विनिर्मुक्ता, वह विमुक्त हो जाता है। एंड ऑल्सो ही इज पदम गच्छन्ते अनामयम, एंड ही इज डिवॉइड ऑफ सफरिंग, और वो कष्टों से भी मुक्त हो जाता है। Now, Sri Krishna continues to expound on the topic of working without attachment and states that it leads to the state beyond suffering. The paradox of life is that, what is the paradox? सबसे बड़ा छद्म इस जीवन का क्या है? सबसे बड़ी भूल क्या है? So the paradox of life is that we are pursuing for happiness, but ultimately attaining sorrow. So this is the paradox. We are striving for happiness, but reap misery. We crave love, but ultimately meet disappointment. We covet life, but moving towards death every moment. We are wanting for life, that we should be live, but ultimately we are slowly moving to death. So here the things are full of contrast, full of duality. यह जीवन द्वंद्वों से भरा है। कई बार हम जो चाहते हैं उसके विपरीत हमें चीजें मिलती हैं। सो हियर थिंग्स आर इन कंट्रास्ट। कामना दुखों का मूल है। सो डिजायर इज द रूट ऑफ ऑल एविल्स एंड ऑल सॉरो। Every human being engaged in fruity works to get happiness, but finds no satisfaction. Instead, these activities only aggravate the misery. Our activities ultimately lead us towards misery. We do not get the happiness, though we are working for happiness. As a result, practically everybody in this world is unhappy. Some suffer from the misery of their own body and mind. Some are due to some misalignment of body, dysfunction of body, diseases of body. They are suffering. Some are due to mind, that is incapacitative mind, not incapable. So due to our otherwise mind also, mana is fluctuating. That mind is not stable. So mind is the lower level of intellect. It certain times goes for some sweet things, that it is along with senses, sometimes to see good, sometimes to hear sweet, and at certain times melodious songs. So it wants a good touch also. So that is carnal pleasure. So mind is a wobbling thing, it is not stable, and the person who is slave of mind, jo man ka gulam, that person cannot get happiness. Now, as a result, the person who is falling prey of mind cannot get happiness, and tormented by many of the sufferings. At certain times, we feel that somebody richer than us might be happy, so we pursue that person. But again we lead. When we reach there, then again the same thing is there, and we find that here is also unhappiness lies. Now my beloved wife Vandana Jaiswal will recite bhajan for us.
श्री राम। तेरी मंद मंद मुस्कनिया पे, तेरी मंद मंद मुस्कनिया पे, बलिहार सांवरे, बलिहार सांवरे, बलिहार सांवरे, बलिहार सांवरे। तेरी मुस्कनिया पे, तेरी मुस्कनिया पे, तेरी मुस्कनिया सांवरे, तेरी मुस्कनिया पे, तेरी मंद मंद मुस्कनिया पे, तेरी मंद मंद मुस्कनिया पे, बलिहार सांवरे, बलिहार सांवरे। तेरे बाल बड़े घुंघरारे, बादल जो कारी कारी, तेरे बाल बड़े घुंघराले, बादल जो कारी कारी। तेरी मोरे मुकुट लटकनिया पे, तेरी मोरे मुकुट लटकनिया पे, बलिहार सांवरे, बलिहार सांवरे। तेरी चाल अजब मतवारी, लगती है प्यारी प्यारी। तेरी चाल अजब मतवारी, लगती है प्यारी प्यारी। तेरी पायल की झनकार पे, तेरी पायल की झनकार पे, बलिहार सांवरे, बलिहार सांवरे। तेरे संग में राधा रानी, लगती है सबसे न्यारी। तेरे संग में राधा प्यारी, लगती है सबसे न्यारी। इस युगल छवि पर मैं जाऊं, इस युगल छवि पर मैं जाऊं, बलिहार सांवरे, बलिहार सांवरे। तेरे नैन बड़े मतवारे, मटके हैं प्यारे प्यारे। तेरे नैन बड़ी मतवारे, मटके हैं प्यारे प्यारे। तेरी तिरछी सी चितवनिया पे, तेरी तिरछी सी चितवनिया पे, बलिहार सांवरे, बलिहार सांवरे। तेरी मंद मंद मुस्कनिया पे, तेरी मंद मंद मुस्कनिया पे, बलिहार सांवरे, बलिहार सांवरे।
अच्छा गाया भजन वंदना, बहुत अच्छा गाया।
सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामया, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। न तो हम कामये राज्यं न स्वर्गं न पुनर्भवम्, कामये दुःखतप्तानां प्राणिनामार्तनाशनम्। उदिष्टं भवतु गोविन्द, उदिष्टं भवतु गोविन्द, नतमदिष्टं नतमदिष्टं पाहि मां रक्ष मां। तेरी इच्छा पूर्ण हो मां, हम सब तेरी शरण में अपने चरणों की भक्ति को। श्री राम।
Thank you, Bhayaji, for inspiring us with Bhagavad Gita's lessons. I invite everyone who is interested to ask question from Bhayaji. You are most welcome.
राम राम सबको।
राम राम।
राम
राम
राम।
राम कृष्णपाल जी, विजया जी, राम राम।
राम राम
Thank
सभी को राम राम।
thank you, Bhayaji. Ram Ram, everyone.
राम राम बेटा, राम राम सबको। दीदी राम राम, वंदना राम राम, बहुत अच्छा।